Hello and welcome to China Shortcuts,
the European Chamber's weekly catch-up on China's business landscape.
On 20th March, the European Chamber, in partnership with the China Macro Group, published the report Riskful Thinking, Navigating the Politics of Economic Security.
For today's special edition of the China Shortcuts podcast, we have asked the Chamber's current and 3 of its former presidents to share their insights on the topic of risk management from the perspective of business and policy.
We asked Chamber President Jens Eskelund to introduce the main risks that European companies are facing in China.
Regulatory predictability is a matter of high concern for our members, as is what is perceived as being an increased politicization of the business environment in China. The access to the market is not going to materially change. There are also, of course, concerns about the domestic economy in China, where the rebound after COVID was not quite as strong as many had hoped.
Former President Joerg Wuttke explained some of the strategies European companies are adopting in order to mitigate risk and build resilience into their operations.
You have to actually make sure that you do your job while looking and defining the risks. Let's look at research and development, for example. The data transfer is something which worries us. The inter-company arrangements for intellectual property, you have to look at this in order to see if you can do the contracts as you did in the past. Do you do the research, basic research in China, or do you more focus on development? Because you don't know if everything that you generated as research and as results can be actually exported out of China. So no ostrich policy, no head in the sand, just define it and de-risk it.
Former President Davide Cucino provided an overview of the purpose of the EU's de-risking policy.
Surely the de-risking policy of the European Union is not to put China in a corner. But we have to face the reality. We have experienced in the last few years a number of events that have caught the European Union by surprise. The European Union is trying to build a resilient number of segments of industry.
Former President Harborn said that despite China's increased focus on economic security, there are still opportunities for European companies in the Chinese market.
I think the Chamber report outlines in what areas companies need to be extra particular in understanding the challenges from a Chinese perspective. If we manage to navigate this well, I think we can manage the growth opportunities and the risks that come with it.
Listen to the full episode on our WeChat account or your preferred podcast platform.